Thanks for that live report. Gun reform enters a new phase at the State House after the Senate passed a bill last night, which differs from the one the House passed last year.
Western Mass News reporter Reagan Lockery joins us live in studio after getting answers from local legislators. Reagan, how do the two bills differ?
Well, Chris and Abby, Senator Jake Oliveira tells me there are serious differences between the House bill and the one that passed just last night in the Senate. And one big contrast, he notes, is that the Senate has the support of local law enforcement. Massachusetts Senator Jake Oliveira stopped by our Western Mass News station Friday afternoon, just one day after the Senate passed a bipartisan gun reform bill. He tells us state senators stood shoulder to shoulder with the Massachusetts Police Chiefs Association to draft the bill. Oliveira says several local senators met with police chiefs across Western Mass to better understand the needs of each department when it comes to gun control.
There's a big difference between a large city like Springfield or Chicopee or Holyoke and those smaller rural communities.
Where Police Chief Sean Crevier tells us the Senate version is still not perfect, but it's less intrusive on citizens' rights than the House bill.
The Senate bill definitely addresses more towards law enforcement's requests that we've made to the senators.
He adds that other than the legislation cracking down on ghost guns, the House bill is a problem. Crevier says the House's version increased the age limit for juveniles to get firearms identification or FID card, even though kids who legally handle a gun are not the demographic police tend to worry about.
To me and to a lot of the hunters, that's a bonding time with the father and son for the parent to install the safety feature of how important safety is with handling firearms.
Oliveira assures us when the House and Senate come together to collaborate on the final draft of the gun reform bill, they will work on negotiating that age restriction with the House.
There are a lot of Boy Scouts. I go to more Eagle Scout ceremonies. There are schools that have clubs. We want to make sure that they continue to do what they've been doing in the past.
The House bill was also over 100 pages. Whereas Oliveira says the Senate was able to get theirs down to about 35 pages, not counting the 20-plus amendments that were added Thursday night.
I know there was a ton of work behind the scenes to make this a lot less intrusive than the House, but it's still got its concerns.
Executive Director of the Gun Owners Action League, Jim Wallace, tells us they are appreciative of the work the senators did to cut the bill down. He even agreed that the process was much more transparent than what they experienced with the House. Senator Oliveira explains that the Senate really wanted to take a balanced approach in order to achieve a bipartisan agreement.
Balancing the rights that individuals have under the Second Amendment to bear arms, but also the right to ensure that we close loopholes, particularly on serious crimes of things like Glock switches that turn, semi-automatic weapons into automatic weapons.
Now, Representative Carlos Gonzalez, House Chair of the Public Safety Committee, gave us a little insight from the House's point of view, saying in a statement, the House of Representatives in Massachusetts passed a strong gun reform bill months ago. The language of the Senate's bill will be thoroughly reviewed to ensure that it aligns with our core objectives of curbing gun violence and implementing robust measures to track and trace the illegal sale of firearms. We believe that a united path forward is essential in effectively addressing this pressing issue. Now, Senator Oliveira tells me the legislature needs to close on July 31st, and if they don't have an agreement with the House by then, a compromise bill will have to stay on the back burner until next session. Reporting live in studio, Reagan Lockery for Western Mass News.